Good morning, Flosstube. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mandy. Excuse me. And you found my YouTube channel, Flosstube, about cross stitch and quilting and some. That's it. Thank you for pressing play. If you did, I really appreciate your time and you watching and interacting with me. Um, this is just a kind of a regular Flosstube update. Update. Let me take a deep breath. I have a little bit of a head cold, so I apologize for the congestion. If there's like a throat clearing, sniffling, I have my tissues here, have some warm liquids to drink. But yeah, I have a cold, and I just had the time now and a kid-free house to film Flosstube for you, and I just had the inkling to as well. So here we are. Let's see. I'm gonna kind of show you what I did in June because I think my last Flosstube video was like June 1st. Um, and then so yeah, I'll show you June's progress. I fully finished a couple things. I got one piece back that I had finished and framed since I last saw you, so that's exciting. This is a quilt that I finally long armed. It was a sew along quilt along with Fat Quarter Shop called Vintage Sunburst, I believe. It was the it's foundation paper pieced, and so there was two block sizes, the 12-inch and the 6-inch, and I think these are Lori Holt Lori Holt pattern. I used the fabric. Fat Quarter bundle was mm, maybe a Carolyn Manning. It had a lot of like sunflowery prints like this in it, and so I really liked it. And then I had to pull a few extra colors because this required a lot of fabric. But yeah, so I recently finished long arming it. I just have to put the binding on it, and it'll be done, and hopefully hanging um up in my house soon for summer, or maybe on the couch. But yeah, I have a one wall that I hang a quilt on, and the one that's there has been up there for a while. It's kind of time to come to change it out. I have several other quilt tops finished that haven't been quilted yet. I'm kind of trying to work through those. Um, I guess I'll get into a life update here. If you watched my last video, I told you all that I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And so I just last Friday finished round 4 of 6 of chemo. I'm ready to be done with chemo. It's a rough week afterwards. I'm very tired. I think that's why I got this cold. Um, and yeah, but next week is a good week. I go back to work. And then the following week I work and then I have chemo on Friday, so it's every 3 weeks. But only 2 more rounds and then I'll have surgery in September. So we're making it through. It is what it is, I guess. It sucks. But yeah, I'm making it and trying to stay positive. Um, yeah, so what else? The kids are doing good. It's, summertime, so they're doing a lot of outside time. They're out fishing on our boat with my husband right now. And so that's nice. They, enjoy do that. I'll probably go out later and meet them. Um, just for a little bit. It's really hot here. It's like, well, today it's I think a high of 89 or something, but it's hot. And so it's nice to be out on the water when it's so hot and you can just jump in the water if you need to cool off and all that stuff. Anyways, what should I show you first? I guess some kind of just small stats for June. I started 8 projects and I finished 8 projects. I think all the ones I started were finishes. No, some of the finishes were like previous. There's one or two, and then I started one that's like a big project and didn't get finished. So 7 of those starts were finishes. So yeah, anyways. And then for July already, today is Sunday, July 6th. I hope everybody had a happy 4th. Um, we did. We just stayed home, but we, lit off a bunch of fireworks. Our neighborhood goes pretty crazy. Lots of people lighting off fireworks everywhere. So luckily nobody did any damage to anything. And the boys really enjoyed it. My 9-year old, my husband egging him on, was finding things to kind of blow up, like dropping little firecrackers in a water bottle, and it was safe but fun. And then yeah, the 4th, yeah, so happy Independence Day 2 days later. But yeah, it is July the 6th. It's Sunday. And so for July, I've had one finish and I've started 2 things. And yeah, I'll get into that here shortly. So first, I want to show my big fully finished, because this, I talked about it last video, I think I was working on it almost close to a finish. And it's just been a long time project, and I'm glad to finally have it done. And I'm gonna put this up in my house, I think in my bedroom. But this is called Birdhouses by there's a little Jardin Privé stitch along. When I started it back in like 2021, I can't even get the whole thing in the, there we go. And then I finished it July 2nd. It's stitched on a 32 count, like linen from Joann's, with all the called for DMC. I did all the back stitch. See if I can get in nice and close. I mean, you've seen most of it, but yeah, I got everything finished. And Hobby Lobby did a decent job of framing. It's a little crooked on the top, but I'm very much not a perfectionist, and so it it's finished and good enough. It can be up on my wall, and that's good. um, so yeah, I'm excited to hang this. Oh, yeah, so that was a big finish. Um, crossed it off the list. And then I just yesterday, I guess kind of in anticipation of filming today, I decided to fully finish a bunch of little things. And so, not little things, but things that I've had sitting in my like to be fully finished pile. I had all the coordinating fabric picked out. And so I'll just show you those. Sorry, I feel really awkward. This one I showed you it as a finish a few months back. It's a Al Forest embroidery piece called Queen's Rose. And so I stitched with the Al Forest floss on the called for it was a kit. And then I just picked up this frame. It's just an 11 by 14 frame from Hobby Lobby. And so I put this like piece of fabric in the back because it's obviously an odd size, and then put the finished piece on top. And I like it now, it can go up somewhere in my house, and that is good. Well, I'll probably wait until, I don't know, it's kind of a Valentine's Day piece to me, but it could also be year round, so I don't know. I don't have a spot for it yet, so I don't know where to put it, but I'm happy that it's done and finished, and I could put it on display. Okay, this is just a small one. The magnet came off. This was a stitch. It was the Housewives patriotic piece, red, white, and boom. I just finished it on the a sticky board, and then this little thing came from Michael's a few years ago. My magnet popped off, so I gotta re-glue it. But it's a little bit, finished it yesterday, so day after the 4th of July, but I can still keep it up until, you know. Excuse me. Okay. Um, Another one. So this was a series. I know I've shown you all these little ones finished, but I finally like put all the boards to put them all on finish the ribbons, I guess. And so this is Shelf Life by Fat Quarter Shop. This was July's piece. This was a stitch along or a club or something last year, and so I stitched one a month. The fabric is 27 count Linda with, it was a few DMCs and some classic Colorworks floss. And then this board came from a long time ago from Scarlet Sky Designs. So I can just change this piece and then this bow each month. And so that's good. And then here is, this was finished a while back. It's called, it's an ink circles piece. If you need to know the name, I can look it up. Dragonfly something. I don't think it has dragonfly in it, but um, yeah. So I finished this a while ago, and then I just fully finished it. I found this little 8x8 frame that it fit in well from Hobby Lobby. And it's on a 32 count Be Stitch Me Lugana with some, it was silk floss. I don't remember the name of the company right now. But yeah, so that's another one to get out of like the box of shame and up on my out. Excuse me. I really am very sorry if that like bothers you. I know headphones that can be hard to listen to, but I can't. I'm sorry. I don't want to edit this video. I'm not good at editing. So, all right. So this is exciting. I did 12 by 12. So where you started 12 things like on January, December 31st. Like started 12 things in 12 hours kind of thing before midnight. And so I did this. It was 3 years ago now. I started I like put a strand in each month of this monthly series. And if you've been watching me, you've seen these as finishes before, but I finally fully finished them all and have the way I'm going to display them. And so now I can just pop them out every month. But it was the monthly Quakers series. I can't remember by what was her name? The what with I no, From the Heart Needle Art by Wendy. Oh, you can see the it did not iron it well. Didn't stretch it well. Oh well. The wrinkles, I might have to go back and remedy that. But here is January's. I have, so all the background fabric is quilting cotton called Grunge, by Basic Gray, Moda for Basic Gray, which is one of my favorite fabric designers. And this grunge is like, I love it. I know it's kind of dated, some people will say, because it's been around for a while, but there's so many colors. It's like a good background, a good neutral. I was in like a monthly club where we got 6 different fat quarters each month of like a colorway, so I have a lot of it. And so I just went through that and kind of paired it with the colors. And yeah, and so I'll show you the frame that it'll be in a minute because I have July's in there. This is February. All these were stitched with the called for fancy floss, so it was like 2 or 3 classic colorworks. The fabric is a 28 count linen. It's a little bit different. I think I used 3 different fat quarters. 2 of them are like wood shelt, and one of them is a Be Stitch Me. But I mean, they're all neutrals. Um, you can see, and I am not a perfectionist. So I really could have pulled that a little bit tighter and gotten the wrinkles out. The iron was not working, but I was obviously like trying to finish all of them in one day. There's May. Here's June. So I'm excited to have these finished and up. Here's July. And this is the frame that they're gonna go in. This is just like a frame from Walmart, but it was neutral enough, and it's an 8x10, I think, 8x10. Um, and yeah, so that's July, and now I can easily just pop these out and put in the new month. It's August, September, October, November, December. So excited to have those completed, and now I can, yeah. Working on that made me kind of not anxious, but kind of thinking about I haven't done 12 by 12 since I did that series. And I think this coming year, I'm gonna do, depending on what our plans are, I would like to just be home and do 12 by 12, but we'll see. Um, not A Year in the Woods, but it's Cottage Garden, A Time for All Seasons. I have one of them finished, so it wouldn't be fully 12, and I have a few of them started already, but starting each of those so that I can at least have them started is kind of a goal, or kind of a plan, because I had wanted to start each one this year, and that fell off the, you know, totally stopped because I got overwhelmed. But if I can kind of plan it out, maybe, and once they're started, they're more likely to be finished, right? That's kind of my new motto is I don't want to have a bunch of whips. Right now I'm at 50. Um, and that's higher than I would like. A lot of them are big whips that have been languishing, and so I'm kind of trying to decide what to do for the rest of the year and if I want to focus on finishing some of the older ones or what. But I always get distracted by new stitch alongs and new squirrels and yada yada yada. So I don't know. I'm rambling now. Okay. Next, so that was all my Foley finishes. And then I have a few just like stitched finishes. And so I thought I would show you those. The first one is this series that I'm doing this year for A Year in Chalk. So this was June's. I haven't started July's yet, but these stitch up pretty quick. It takes a day or two. Because I kind of saved them to work on it at work. That sounds bad, but like on downtime or between patients, between charting. Um, and so, yeah, I'm saving my smalls. And lately, since I've been home this week, I've been working on big projects. Um, okay, what else? This one I'd had kitted. I bought the like finishing floss pack from um Primrose Cottage. It's called Summer Quaker. It came out last year, I think. So this should be an easy finish because I already have the fabric and stuff picked out. I just didn't want to sit down and sew pillows, but go like that. It's stitched with one floss of Dinky Dyes silk called Saffron. The pattern is shown on, or the cover photo shows it on a white, but I had this scrap of blue that I thought blue and yellow would look good, and so there we are. This I started kind of at the end of June and I finished it July 1st. And that was kind of pretty like monogamous stitching. That was the only thing I stitched on for a couple days, so it did take a little bit. Oh, and then I stitched a few of this series from the Housewives for June. I did this summer garden one. This is just a random piece of, it's a fabric flare. It's a 27 count, or fabric flare, so it's probably 28 count. I don't remember the color, but I stitched it with the called for DMCs. And then I also did this Sweet Summertime. These stitched up in like a day, day or two. So there's that. And then the Free Stitch Friday, or last month from Primrose Cottage Stitches was this guy. I think it was last month, probably. And so I think it goes like this because the heart in the middle is. So these are Valdani cotton threads. I hadn't stitched with them before, but it was okay. The fabric is a 32 count taupe, I think. I got the floss pack from them. Um, and yeah, so it was a quick little stitch, only took a couple days. I don't know how I'll finish it yet. I might, so we'll see. Obviously in a round. And then if you watched last month's video, I had a few pa um fabric patterns pulled that I wanted to do. So this was one of them, Happy Independence Day by Ben Creek. And so this was just a quick little start and finish um in like a day. Did I do it in a day? Yeah, it was a Saturday. Um and yeah, I used the same for the blue, the red, and the white. I used the same Valdani threads, and I just pulled similar-ish colors from their fancy floss. This one had these weird like little snap things. It's called a snappers holiday. Um, and so I just popped those in. I don't. Just a fun little flair difference, I guess. I don't know. And then this was another one that I pulled, and I said, oh, I could start and finish this pretty quick. And so it's called Strawberries and Stripes by With a Needle and Thread, or Brenda Gervais, I guess. Just says Brenda Gervais. Here's the cover photo. I don't think I'll finish it that way. That's like a thing you make, I think, a paper mache basket or something, but and I stitch on a much bigger fabric than the called for. This is like a 20, it's either a 25 or a 28. It's pretty big count. And then I use some of the called for, some just like her Brenda Gervais patterns, like the basket, like she'll have like two stitches and for one fancy floss color, and I don't like that. So like the basket and the flag post are the same floss, but that's not what's called for here. Like they're supposed to be two different flosses, and so I don't know. I didn't want to do that. So yeah, there's that one finished. And then this was another big finish. It had been a whip. I mean, not for that long. I started it last year. So I'm going to have it done because it took forever. It felt like a lot of fill in. This is called Freedom Patchwork Series by Fat Quarter Shop. Uh, and so this was like a kit you got. Well, you didn't have to get the kit. I got the not the kit, but the MPI. It called for like MPIs. This was like a quarterly series they did a couple years ago. And so now I've stitched 3 of the 4. I'm not going to stitch the fox because I don't want to. And they, I think, stitched it on a black, but I thought I had this pretty blue. It's called Frost from Be Stitch Me. So I stitched it on that. And yeah, it's done. It took forever. It was a ton of fill-in stitching. Ton of fill-in stitching. And so I'm glad it is done now. And I can do something with it next year. next Before 4th of July next year, hopefully. Okay. Oh, let's see. I'm trying to see. When did I work on? I don't know. Okay. One big start. Oh, I don't know where that is. Hmm. Sorry, I'm looking for one start that I had last. Oh, it's over there. Hang on, just a second. Pause, please. Hold, please. Okay. Okay. This was one start that I had in June that I wanted to show you. Let me find the cover photo. So it was recently released by Crochet A Go Go. It's called American Sampler. Um, and I really like most like her samplers. I have, I think, all the ones she's released so far. And so when this came out, I decided to start it. And hang on, cover photo loading. I would like to stitch all of them, but they're big pieces, like 200 by I don't know, I have it loaded in markup and it says it's 29,000 stitches, so picture, let's see. So it's beautiful. That's American Sampler by Crochet a Go-Go. I got the PDF, obviously, it's in markup. 29,000 stitches. I've done 600. So I'm 2% complete. I'm stitching it on this, oh, it's huge, on this sparkly Belfast, 32 count Belfast linen called Raw Silver. And so I just have some of the border and I wanted to do a different color. So I put in those red flowers. I don't think it's going to take up that whole fat quarter, but I mean, here's the floss. It's just DMC floss. It's not all on its little cards yet, but keeping it in this bag I recently got from Red Velvet Quilts. I really like her little keychain charm things. Kind of wish I knew where to get them and make my own, but yeah, so that was a big start. Will be a long time project. Hopefully not too long, but I mean, you have to work on, you have to stitch on them in order for them to be finished. And so, yeah. So that was that one. So that was my big start that wasn't a finish in June. And then a few other things I worked on in June. I kind of had a wild hair, or this whip was calling to me, I guess we'll say, called Happy Camper. I would like to finish this sooner rather than later. Stitching it on a piece of 40 count, I think it's called Dirty Brown. 40 count, yeah, Dirty Brown by XJU. That's not what the called for is, but I'm stitching with the called for floss, which is a mix of, it's a big old mix of DMC, Weeks, and Classic Colorworks. And so, if you've watched me before, I mean, you've seen this. I had the majority of this done. I finished this porcupine, I finished this fire. I started getting these guys in. This is all words, and then down here is like the campers and the house, which will take a while, but I'm tempted to kind of trying to figure out what my July plans are in terms of stitching. Like I kind of feel like I should be done stitching Patriotic because the 4th of July is over. But I keep the decor up until, I don't know, well, I kind of take it down in August because I like to change out to like sunflowers and bees and stuff in August. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out what I want to like stitch and focus on in July. I am kind of doing Jolly July. Not kind of, I am doing Jolly July. You'll see in a minute. What I like stitched on, what I've stitched on, but okay, so that was pretty much everything I worked on in June. Yeah. I kind of finished out the month stitching on Summer Quaker. And then July, I have did Happy Camper a little bit. I started this stitch along with Fat Quarter Shop again because I'm Fat Quarter Shop. I don't want to use the word junkie because I'm not a junkie, but pulling up the pattern, sorry. The Quilted Snowman, I started it the 2nd of July because I'd like to stitch on this throughout most of July and hopefully get a finish. It should be finished this year, but I might burn myself out on it. I don't know, we'll see. I'm stitching it on a piece of 25 count unnamed Stitch Me, but with the called for DMC. Here is, I mean, here's the pattern. It's pretty. I have the quilt started too, because I was doing that as a quilt along, but I lost my uh mojo with it. Here, I need to get back doing that. But yeah, this is kind of my progress. I got this tree almost done. It's a lot of stitching. Um, and then I don't know, I just jump around. I kind of left this so I could fill in. Um, I wanted to get this scarf part because then I could fill it in the rest. This white part is going to take a hot minute, but I like to try to get little, I like to where I can move around the piece. And then if I have like a little bit left, I can use one color to finish off a snowflake or whatever. And so that's that piece. I've been stitching on it a lot. According to markup, I could finish it by 28 July if I keep going at the rate I've been going. Um, but I don't know if that is feasible. There are still 18,000 stitches to do. I've done 4,000 so far, 4,200. So that's a lot. I actually kind of like having those stats to share with you, but not all my patterns are in markup. I don't love figuring how to get them in is kind of annoying. Um, mm. I did work on this flea market flowers in June. So sorry, I'm bouncing all over the place. And I said, oh, I want to focus on this. Last video, I said, oh, I want to focus on this and um, finish it in June. No, uh, that's all I got. Kind of as soon as you say, oh, here's my plans, I'm gonna finish stitch on this a lot. That went out the window, and I stitched on it like 2 more days. That was it. So I'll pull that out next year. Um, I think it's beautiful. I do still want to stitch it. It just wasn't calling to me, and that's fine. Um, okay, and then since it's Jolly July, and this has been a very long time whip, this is my oldest whip, I think. Which I actually need to go back and watch some of my first videos because I could tell you when I started this exactly, but I don't. Um, I don't know when I actually started it. I just think it was in 2021. But it's Green Christmas, another Jardin Privé. It's actually called Red Christmas, but she has a green version. I liked the green version better. Mm. And so I'm stitching it with 3 different Victorian mono greens, which I might need to, well, they look okay. I might need to lighten this one up a little bit to make it more like yellowy. Because in the picture, so like the border is all one green. There's that darker green, and then the words and like the stars are a lighter green, which I had planned to do with this color, but I might look and see if I have something with a little more yellow tones to it, but that's a long time coming. um, for Jolly July, I'm trying to do at least a strand a day. Um, and so that's my progress. I'm not very far for it being my oldest whip because I don't work on it very much. And so I would like to remedy that. Uh, yeah, I'm trying to get this outer border finished and then I can start putting in the other colors, but strand a day. Let's see what markup says as far as progress. It's in markup, but it doesn't go in great. And then 3.4% complete. There's 25, almost 30,000 stitches total. I've done, oh, it's not all marked up, I don't think. Sorry, it's loading. Let me see. Oh, that was the wrong one. I'm looking at the wrong one. So actually there's 38,000 stitches. Whew. And I've done 4,000, so it's 11% complete, but I do think it's all marked up actually. Um, Mm. And the info, it says it's not correct because I haven't been putting them in. But yeah, it says I have 4,000 stitch 4,500 stitches done. Um, so yeah, I don't know. It'll get finished eventually. Okay, and then I had one big start. I think I said last video that I wanted to start this um on 4th of July, and I did. Woohoo, I stuck to the plan. I have the NPIs for this, so they're not all on Flosstubes, but here's some of the colors. Here's the rest of the colors. This has been kitted for a long, long, long time, probably since 2021. This is a piece of 36 count antique ivory. And that was my start on 4th of July. Oh, oh, oh. So it'll take up, I think the whole length. It won't be that wide, but it's a big one. So this will be a long time project. 349 wide by 211. Um, so yeah. Once again, like it's been sitting in my kitted pile, and so now that it's started, maybe I'll be more likely to pull it out and stitch on it. So yeah, that's that. That was all my whips. Yay. Um, and then plans. I have a few plans. This is one that I work on monthly. Um, called Hummingbird Garden. All these beautiful colors. I got this kit from Crazy Annie. Annie's Stitching. And so I have January through June done. I need to start stitching on July so I can get that one finished. So I'm trying to do one a month. This is in last year's, it was a stitch along in last year's Just Cross Stitch magazine. So I'm trying to do one a month and to finish it by December. So that would be good. And then what else do I have in terms of plans? I guess as I was kind of talking about, I don't know what to like work on here now in July. I guess I'm gonna just kind of plug away on the quilted snowman and Green Christmas and see how I do. I'm a little tempted to film a whip parade. Is that something people would be interested in watching? I said I have 50 whips. I haven't done a whip parade since I did a mid-year whip parade last year. I didn't do an end of the year one. I don't want to go above 50 whips, and so I think if I did a whip parade, that might help me figure out. Like, I have a few that I think I kind of want to just pull out and focus on. Um, so that might help me with some goals. I don't know. I don't have a lot of like, I finish small ones pretty quickly, and it's the big ones that I fizzle out on. I like them when they're done. That's why I start them, but I'm not good at like putting in continued work on them. And so kind of need to come up with a plan. My second oldest whip is Pavane by Long Dog Samplers. I started that as like a new year, new start. I think in 2021, like January 1, 21. Um, I would really like to finish that one soon. It's not close to a finish. It's probably 30% done. But it should, I mean, if I like sat and focused on it, it should stitch up pretty quick. Like it's monochromatic. It's on a 36 count, I think. I should just do a whip parade and that might help me, but sometimes that overwhelms me too. Um, but yeah, I pulled a few projects. Oh, I guess I haven't done haul. Oh, I'm just so disorganized today. Sorry. haul I will do. I just have a little bit. But this was another bag that I got from Red Velvet Quilts. I got this, well, I've had this pattern, Folk Art Garden. This was another one that I wanted to like start soon. And I got the floss and um, it's not the called for, it's Roxy Floss Flow Conversion. But they kitted it in like this really pretty Coco Loco in the fabric, and so I just need to start that one. But I don't know if I'm gonna start it soon. I still want to start this guy. It's plans again. So once again, like if it's started, it's it's a start, and then I'm more likely to finish it. But I think before I start this, I need to finish a different big one because this is a big one. But it is nice and summery, and I'd like to start it. I've been kind of had an itch to like do some beading, so I thought I would start this guy. Just haven't gotten around to it. And then this, oh, I have a couple things in here. I have Honeybee Garden kitted up by the Housewives. I have this Botanical Bee kitted up by Kathy Haberman. I don't know if I love that fabric. We'll see. I have this piece of white fabric in here for something. And then this is a whip. High Rules. Like this would stitch up pretty quick too. This will probably be a focus in August. Maybe sooner here now in July. Mm. And then, but like I said, I like to do like sunflowers and bees in August. This is another one that I would focus on. This is another Lori Holt Beehive House. Not very far, but I like it's therapeutic stitching on 25 count. It's easy to see. This is a lot of fill in, which I like. So we'll see what I feel called to do. Okay, now I'm actually gonna do haul. So I just randomly got this pattern from Fat Corner Shop. I had placed an order for something. I think the fabric was on sale or something, and so I just got it because I liked it. I wanted to stitch it last year. It's big. Um, I didn't really do any of those other series. I got my June to do June Belsois Club. It's these pretty browns. Put that away. I ordered the so they really Fat Quarter no, Primrose Cottage released this fruit salad Quaker. I just thought it was fun, bright colors. And then I also got the garden variety patterns, the limes, lemons. What's that say? Cherries and watermelon. With this is the finishing kit for fruit salad, Quaker, and then I got the buttons for the not the buttons, the pins for the other ones. I'll probably not. I don't know how I'll finish them. Not like the cover photo, but and then not what is it called? I'm in the club from Silver Needle, called A Little Help from Our Friends Stitching Circle. And this is a quarterly club. This is the pattern that came from Erica Michaels. It's called Cherish. It's very pretty. I got all kitted up with the needle and the linen and the called for floss and like the finishing supplies. Came in this cool bag. And then I just appreciate their like this is what it was wrapped in. It's so pretty. I'd like to use it for something else, but I don't know what I could use it for. So um, so yeah, that was a very rambly video. Hopefully you got some good stitching in because it's been 45 minutes and oh, I was gonna go through those. Okay, if you're still here, thank you. I pulled a bunch of like summer and bee and sunflower patterns from my stash, and I thought I would just kind of go through them and either enable some of you, enable myself, try to come up with some kind of plan or guide or something for what I wanted to do for for the rest of summer, I guess we'll say. Um, but you know, these are not hard and fast plans. Things could change. I kind of stitch what you want when you want. I don't make a whole lot of like hard and fast rules. So if you want to be enabled or just like want some just to look through some patterns, this will be your time. So these are ones I pulled from my stash that I would like to stitch sooner rather than later. They obviously won't all be stitched this season, but some of them are contenders. So this is a bee, what's it called? Around bees. It's a JBW design. Yeah, Judy Whitman. I think this came out just last year. Or maybe this year for market, New York market. Yeah, 2025. So this would stitch up pretty quick. Interesting. She says over 1 on 25 Lugana or over 2 on 36 count linen. I would not, I don't know what I would stitch it on. It's just one. It doesn't say the floss. Oh, Classic Colorworks Queen Bee. So that would stitch up fast. I have these two berry basket ones, which I'm actually going to put away because I know I'm going to stitch them this season. Hands-on Designs. This is called Summer by Karen Kluba. I have it all kitted up that came with the House of Embroidery floss. And so this would be a pretty quick like start and finish. I really like this one, and it could kind of go over into fall too. It's got those pumpkins, but I just think this is really, it's a cute hands-on design one. A Homestead Gathering. Summer Bouquet by Jeanette Douglas. I really like all her flower pieces, and I just haven't stitched any of them. This calls for weeks. I don't know. She's got weeks or classic, Valdani or DMC. This is a fun little stitch curl one. Watermelon, fun for summer. Calls for Gast and Classic Colorworks. I like this one. I think I'll stitch it sooner rather than later. Be Sweet by Annie B's Folk Art. It's pretty small. It calls for Classic and Weeks. This Honeybee Berry by Erica Michaels. Says, can you gather honey all the day? That would stitch up super fast, like in a day. Humble Honey is the bee's knees. I just need to pull this out and stitch it because I have it with the fabric and I have the pins. I just have a Mill Hill one, buttons and beads. Called Honeybee. Honeybee Basket by Primrose. I wonder if they have those pins. Honeybee Quilt. I really like all these. Honeybee Quaker. This is Honeybee Biscornu from Teresa Kogut. Never stitched a Biscornu, but I think it would be fun. calls for DMC. 3 different fabrics. I really like this one, Friendship Garden. I would probably stitch up pretty quick too. It's just a lot of words. This is a fun Plum Street Samplers one, Buzz Off. And I feel like it can kind of transition over into fall just because the crow is kind of fall. You know, I love a hands-on design block party. I really like the Quaker or the honeycomb on top. Honey of a Tiny Town. This is another Plum Street. You can see that I don't think I would finish it as a drum. Maybe I would, but that's the whole piece on the back. It's just Wildflowers by the Blue Flower. I love a blue flower chart. Clover and Hive by Hands On Design. It's pretty. I like that fabric. What is that fabric? Friendship Green. Nice fabrics by Stephanie. These are just fun little bee ones. This seems like an older Hands On Design chart. Just bee. Another Cottage Gardens. This is a springtime series. I have a couple others, but Be Happy. That's fun. This is a designer I'm not very familiar with. All the what's it by? Designed by Sandra Cox. I don't know. This is just a cute pattern. Home Sweet Home. Bee themed. Here's sunflowers, country cottage, needlework sunflowers in summer. Oh, this is making me want to start all these. Helianthus by Ink Circles. This Honey Chart by Teresa Kogut. It's gorgeous. All Will Be Well by Heartstring Samplery is pretty. I would probably, I don't know if I would stitch it in those same colors or what I would do. Might be pretty on like a brighter yellow. I don't know. Let My Example Shine by Chessie and Me. I have the Chessie and Me pattern started. I don't know how I would. It's finished as like a, what do you call that? I don't know, a needle roll. It's pretty. This is really not my style, but something about it. The colors just call to me in Full Bloom by Pineberry Lane. I'm not gonna stitch it this year though. The Blue Flower Quilting Bee. I think the bee is beautiful. I don't love the finish of it. Like, I mean, I get it. It's like quilted into like a little frame kind of thing, but that fabric to me is just too busy. Otherwise, it's very pretty. Blessed Bee by Brenda Gervais. And then this one's pretty too, Harvest Keeper. It's another Plum Street big guy, 197 by 150. I really like it. It's really, really pretty. And then almost done. This was a recent new release by Robin Pickens. Summer Courier Duos. Just pretty. Bumblebee etchings. This is a Honey Tea Sampler, Pansy Patch. Oh, There Are Bees by Prairie Schooler. It's so cute. There Are Bees. There is Honey. This Save the Bees by Leela Studio. Berkshire Hives by Karen Klupa. Rosewood Manor. It's fun. Oh, it's stitched on like a honeycomb fabric. Huh. It's an old one, 2013. It's pretty. Oh, birds of a feather, no bees, no honey. This is gorgeous. And then A Buzz at Midnight. This one is another like, oh, it came out I think last year. I have that fabric. I really want to start this one. I think I need to just bite the bullet and do it. Maybe look and see if I have the MPIs. That would put me over 50 minutes, but this guy, I love this one. Almost done. Two more bees in her bonnet. I have not seen anybody stitch this, but I think it's so clever. It's 89 by 109 high, 109 high. It's not that big. I think this might have to be a start this year. And then Sunflower Medley. That's it. Thank you for watching for all this time. Um, I I appreciate your time. Hopefully you were enabled by some of those patterns. If you have them and are like, hey, I'm stitching those, or stitching one of them, or I have plans to start one of them, or tell me in the comments down below, please, please, please. Sorry I don't have a giveaway. I'm kind of trying to decide. I have a lot of like patterns that I just need to get out of the house, get rid of. Um, like a whole box of patterns. I don't want to some of them I want to resell. If I haven't stitched them before, then I'll resell them. If I've stitched them before, I don't want to resell them. I feel like that's, the right thing to do. But anyways, no giveaway today. I might be back with a whip parade here. I don't know if I have time in the next 2 weeks ish. Or I might just come back next month. Um, Hopefully with a bunch of stitching finishes to show you. I don't know. So yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you for watching. If you've stayed this late, please leave a comment. If you do all the things like subscribe, yeah, I would appreciate it. Have a great day. I hope the rest of your July goes well, and yeah, happy stitching.